Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Jamie. This will be a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. If you're new to tarot, just know that not every Cancer reading will resonate for you. So if you feel like I'm wrong or this just doesn't resonate with your life, please just disregard it. I'm also going to pull cards like King, Queen, Emperor, and Empress. Those cards describe a specific personality, but they really don't have anything to do with the sex or gender of the person that we're describing. Yeah, if you want more readings, you can subscribe to the channel by clicking subscribe below. If you click the bell, it'll notify you whenever I post. I do also offer a membership if that's something you're interested in. You can click the join button. It'll take you to the membership tab and show you everything that I do over there. Okay, so we have wild pasture. I give myself permission to relax. Becoming my highest self requires planning time to rejuvenate. I am a wild pasture that grows and draws nutrients without toil. The overall energy is Temperance. This is Sagittarius energy. Supporting, we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the King of Wands, the High Priestess, Cancer Pisces energy, the Queen of Cups, the Three of Pentacles. And in the challenge, we have the Devil, Capricorn energy. It's kind of interesting to have these two opposing each other. All right. There's someone else in most of your lives, whoever I'm speaking to here. And it's like, the two of you do some really different shit, you know? But at the same time, you both really work hard. So I feel like, some of you are like with a person who probably does like some kind of like manual labor job, like where they really like go and do some physical labor for work. And then the other one kind of has a more like reserved or like quiet position where they like meet the emotional needs of someone else or something, it's like, a private relationship though, and that's kind of why it's working out here. I think that like when you really kind of like view other people's viewpoints about relationships, you think that most people are like afraid of commitment or that they have intimacy issues, but it's like most people are not in like healthy relationships, so you may not really talk about your relationship much, or kind of tell people where you're at. And it's not like there's something going on. It's just that, the privacy or the mystery of the relationship is what really holds it together. And I think you're both very like private, maybe even like introverted people. But I think both of you are at this point where it's like there's work to be done. You both have to work, but you get a lot of playtime. And both of you, I think, like what you do. So you have two people who basically keep all the peace and the balance by protecting it, by keeping the outside world, for the most part, out. It's not that you wouldn't have like friends or associates or something. Just people don't necessarily know your deep internal world like that, you know? I think for one of you, it's very easy to keep life private. They don't really know too many people or have a lot of people around them, which may actually be the attraction to you, like where you're attracted to them. For the other person, though, they may be a little more public, like more people know them, or they like kind of, you know, they deal with the general public in some kind of way. And I think whoever's like really in the public is the one who really likes to keep shit like real tight and private, because it is true, you know, other people's negativity can shift to yours. People can plant ideas, you know. It's better. I feel like it's like both of you kind of look at relationships. For those of you that don't have this relationship, maybe this is saying this is the type of relationship that you need to be looking for, where the person is a little more private. Some people, you know, they want to make this like big public scene about who they're like with, and there's a lot of problems that come with that, you know. But here it's more like not, you know, if you have an issue with your partner, it's probably best to go talk to them about it, right? To figure out where they're coming from and what's going on, than to allow some type of outside energy. Now, some of you would go to a fucking tarot reader before you ever listened to a single person that you knew personally, because you've seen their relationships personally, you know what I mean? It's like something like that, where like if I really need advice, I would go over here where it's still very private and nobody knows about it. Yeah, there's just something really, really healthy here where, you know, one person has learned to keep everything very private, and another person just naturally is like that. So it's like, you know. I like the energy though, because I think one person, you know, no matter the sex or gender of the people in the relationship, is one person is pulling that masculine, like go getter energy. You know, like they are successful. You know, it's the King of Wands. The other person is that very like, you know, down to earth, like nurturing, like type of energy. So while it's two totally different extremes, they always seem to work together. It's truly like masculine and feminine energy. But there's peace in the relationship. Again, it's keeping like other people's opinions about what's going on, or their thoughts and ideas about relationships and things like that, out of the picture, not letting anyone really know. I mean, for some of you, they may not even know that like you have like a relationship going on like that, you know. Well, I feel like for most of you, this is long term, and people know what's going on. They just don't know your fucking business. And you know, if you keep it between the two of you, you can't have any like outside influences, you know. But it also really permits loyalty. You know, I got a problem with you, I'll take it up with you. I ain't gonna call your sister and your mama. Fuck that. I don't need all the extra drama. It's something like that, you know, like very mature though. And some of the people around you may not know that they're even toxic in a way, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you could be like in some kind of like long-term relationship, and your best friend would just look at you one day and be like, you know, did you ever think so and so would maybe cheat on you? And it's like, why would you even plant that seed? Like, you know, they don't see it as negative, like, no, no, you know, it happens all the time to people, you know. But it's like, why, like, but you made that specifically, you know. And people will, they don't even, you know, like they don't even think like that, you know. But I think here it's like there's just can only be certain people around you, or who know anything about your like deep internal life and your relationship. Like, knowing it exists is one thing, but knowing every fucking thing that happens in it is a whole other thing. You could also see that this is the problem with people around you. Like, maybe you're not even in a relationship. Maybe the reason that you don't partake in relationships is because you have someone around you, and you could, you know, like they have the commonality of like most common relationships today where there's just all kinds of toxicity, just reckless behavior, like just it just doesn't even make any sense. It seems exhausting. And realizing that these people would have like, like there would be more peace in their relationship, because if they're like off and on, if people break up just to get back together, it'd probably be better not to involve 300 people and make that person sound like a fucking clown just to take them back. It's like this things like that, I think, that you're kind of looking at here. But I like the energy here, because whatever Cancer I'm talking to, they're seeing romantic relationships as something sacred and spiritual, which doesn't need to be spoken about to everyone. You know, again, it's specifically between two people. So that's something most people don't get these days, right? Why is the devil here, and why is he relevant with this? The Hierophant, Taurus energy, the Moon, Pisces energy, the Knight of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, the Ten of Swords. Some of you learned the hard way, I think. Some of you let someone get in between the relationship before, and I don't mean this in no sexual way. I mean, like, somebody here learned that, like, you got to keep shit between the two of you. Sometimes people will betray you. They'll go tell somebody what you're talking about or something. I think that, like, there's already been an issue before where you found out, like, you got to trust who you're with or something. I don't know. It's like a really interesting energy here. Like to you, the relationship needs to remain private, because in the past there's already been some type of like betrayal with it or something. It's like you got to build trust and loyalty over time. You can't take it somewhere else. And I feel like either this person like took the situation to someone else and got really bad advice, or you feel like you look like a clown in a past situation, kind of going back and forth with a person and always complaining about them elsewhere or something. It's letting other people's negative ass energy seep into your relationship. Seeds of doubt be planted. But mostly it's just kind of coming across like you're not as insecure as you used to be. At least not with this person. Okay. I think there could be some drama going on in the background that you don't know about, or some drama that they don't know about. There's some kind of drama here. I think it's someone that's been in the mix before. It's kind of given like maybe like a family member or a friend or something that like once was in the relationships business, and they kind of caused some damage. And after they started a bunch of problems and they kind of got found out for whatever they were doing or saying here, I feel like they got cut off. This person could be, returning in life here as like, or maybe it's saying, this person's trying to get back into the situation between you and another person here, and to beware that this energy is about to return into your life. I think there's someone that really, because they hold rank, like what was said by them or the things that are said by them have caused problems in the past, even if they weren't truth. And you know for sure now that this person was a fucking liar because the reconciliation between you and a person, or a conversation had between you and a person, brought out all of the exposure. So, this person, I think they're always kind of around that because, like I said, they hold rank. They're like a brother, a sister, a fucking child of somebody, something like that. But it's been some shit here with another person where, they caused some bullshit. And this is not blaming them completely. I'm looking at somebody who knows they were insecure, they listened to something that was said, or somebody else took some bad advice. It did not result well, so you'll see this person returning, and I feel like with their tail between their legs, they feel like they may have cut you off, or kind of like just fucked off after they got exposed for something that they were trying to do or say here. It's interesting. Be careful with this person. I don't see much change, and I think that they like to just cause issues. I think maybe you don't even have to worry about it with the wild pasture. Maybe somebody else is also protecting your peace. Maybe that's what you're not aware of right now. Like someone else is trying to come back around, someone trying to return. Maybe this is you that needs to be aware of this person. This could be someone in your life that caused a big problem in your romantic relationship. And when the truth was exposed, that they basically lied, they just dipped. You haven't heard from them since the return of this person. Again, this is not somebody that you would push out or not deal with, but you need to be aware that you have to have serious boundaries and not tell this person anything that's really going on with you and your relationship, because this is the kind of thing that they do. So essentially this is saying you need to protect your peace from people with really negative energy, or people who just have less than good intentions or like drama. Alright. I'll see you guys soon.